Welcome everybody, Chris Reeves with TRIARC Systems, and today is our part 2 suppressor video. So from our previous video, we kind of went not too technical, but kind of a rough overview of the pros and cons from suppressor use, what the give and takes are. If you haven't already seen our first video, there will be a link in the description, so make sure you catch up on that video and follow up with this one. So what we've learned, right? The gives and takes with suppressor use, obviously blowback. We talked about blowback a lot in the previous suppressor video and ways to counteract the blowback with heavier springs, heavier buffers, also adjustable gas box. We went into detail, but like I said, it wasn't too technical. It's just more of like an end user perspective and what your average shooter would learn or adjust their rifle to. So time has passed, obviously, a lot of demos, a lot of training went forth with different suppressors. We came to the conclusion that there are companies out there, such as OSS, and we've done a video with them previously, where they're using newer designs than traditional baffles. And so for us, when they approached us years ago, was we have to put time behind the product to see if the newer design is going to hold up, and it has. Through the last couple years of shooting, the suppressors, this was the QD Helix and the TI 556. And we shot the other various models from the 762 Ti to the stainless, the K stainless. They've gone through changes from when we first started the video to where no flash shatter end cap to now they have flash shatter end caps on virtually all the cans. And by the time this video is released out, or shortly after this video is released, they do have a 762 flash shatter can coming out too also. So end user perspective, like I said, not going to get too technical on materials. They are well built. A lot of suppressors we've used in the past were very well built for what they were, but the majority were traditional baffle designs. So that had some negative side effects to the gun that we had to counteract at times. So with this suppressor and using it, I'm just going to be honest, it has a lot of benefits to it. The design that they have, where it's a lot of back pressure, is extremely reduced. I mean, we're talking minimal to almost none back pressure from an end user perspective. Like I said, I'm not going to get out measuring devices and what percentage of back pressure, because it's all going to be all over the place, varying from different gas port sizes to different guns, everything. I'm just giving you this perspective from, and also many of us who've shot our rifles, employees and plus of our shooters, and a lot of the guys with average Joes, it's virtually almost no blowback, right, from an end user perspective. And to me, it's a huge benefit to suppressor use. The big negative was overdriving the gun, wear and tear on parts, getting gas in your face, and as through further testing now is that we've learned that there's lead exposure. All right, we all know lead exposure is bad. Those people who work in the industry, work at firing ranges, law enforcement officers who do a lot of training, work at range masters, they all constantly have to give their lead levels checked in some retrospect. So if you do a lot of shooting, work in that environment, you're constantly subject to lead levels. And this does not increase that. Some of the suppressors, when you guys get the gas in your face, or you feel that gas in your eye, or you're over-gassing the gun, that is lead exposure, guys. All that stuff hitting your face is lead exposure. When you cleaning the gun, there's more lead, more contaminants going back into the action. Suppressor guns generally run dirty, is what they say, because you got that over-gassing going into the gun. With these, you don't have all that extra gas going back into the action. The gun runs smooth. We talked about gas port sizes. Obviously, if you have an overgas gun, you put a can with traditional baffles, you get that extra back pressure depending on the manufacturer, you're really going to overdrive your gun, and you're really going to beat it apart, because over time those parts we're going to wear in a lot faster. As I mentioned previously in our past videos about overdriving the gun. So what that means with this particular setup, obviously AR-15 DI receives gas through the gas block, the gas tube, and direct impingement works the action. So as you have a traditional baffle suppressor, you can definitely get more blowback. So all the gas is not going out; it's slowed down. So you're gonna have more gas go back into the system, and therefore more gas into the weapon, overdriving the action. So when I say overdriving, it's increasing the speed of the BCG or the cyclic rate, and more gas is coming out of the gas tube. Therefore, people will feel that gas in the eye coming through different various parts of the upper receiver, and also out the side ejection port for you left-handed shooters who know that pain. So that's what I mean by overdriving the gun. And when you have reduced back pressure, you don't have all that extra gas coming through the action and the gun's working the way it was, where you're getting that amount of gas that it was without a suppressor. That's a huge benefit. I mean, I can't stress that enough. It is a huge benefit. So obviously you don't have to do all the counteracting for, you know, slowing down the BCG with heavier buffers and heavier springs, or adjustable gas block to impede that gas flow through the can so you don't let so much go through it. With this, we generally see no shift in ejection pattern, generally. So you might see a little bit at times depending on the barrel length and type of ammunition, but what's that showing us too is that the action is moving consistently than it was without the can. And that's amazing. To me, that's amazing. Just from working on guns for so long, shooting suppressed rifles, different end users and their take on it when they first fire the rifles and what their opinions are, everybody's benefiting from it. So we have reduced the concussive blast, reduction of sound, reduction of flash with the newer end cap, and also now we have reduced gas blowback. So that's amazing. But I'm sure other companies out there that are manufacturing suppressors are going to come up with a design to reduce that back pressure, because more information is coming out as far as with lead exposure, and obviously the consumer's more well aware of how the wear and tear on parts on your gun is a negative, and also not having to buy additional attachments to your weapon to mitigate all that. It might, are we going to go away and throw away all our old cans? No, we're not. We just have to. What I'm saying with the other suppressors and the other ones that we use, we just have that understanding of what the give and take is. So we have to modify those guns accordingly to counteract all the negative effects. But as we move forward and we use more of our weapons with the suppressor system, we don't have to do that. So it's one less thing we have to worry about, and less thing to have different springs and different buffer weights to switch out if we're going to run a demo all day suppressed, or we don't have to explain to consumers when we do demos or to law enforcement agencies that these are the measures you have to use to counteract, or here's the give and take. It makes things a lot easier for us when we don't have to provide any additional parts or go through the explanation of what the wear and tear is going to be. When you throw this on there, take it on and off, and the gun's going to run the same. So what's next? Well, time to hit the range, shoot some guns, different barrel lengths, different suppressors, and show you exactly what we're talking about. So now for the closeout of this part 2 of our suppressor video. We're here at Texas Gun Experience, and shout out to those guys real quick. They're amazing indoor range, gun store, amazing facility here. They always support us, so just want to give a quick shout out to them. And the purpose of us being here today was we were shooting low light.
Yep.
So Jim had a great idea. We came out here to shoot the suppressors in a low light environment in the indoor range, so you can get a kind of like a good perspective without NVGs of what the flash is going to look like.
Yeah.
And so interesting stuff though, right?
Yeah. So like one of the negatives that we hear, one of the questions that people always ask is, with the flow through technology, what does the flash look like, particularly in low light environments, under nods? So we got some shots of what it looks like from the front. So if you were on the other end of the can, which I hope you're not, but if you were, what that flash looks like.
Yeah.
But then we also wanted to show what it looks like over the shoulders, to try to give an idea of what the shooter is seeing. And yeah, it was everything we expected. There was little to no. There was a little bit. We did have an interesting. I don't know if we call it an anomaly with the TI can.
Well, I've seen that experience with titanium cans also too, as far as like sometimes there's additional more flash or spark, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's just the way the metal reacts, obviously, when it heats. But different ammunition is going to get different results too.
Yeah.
Some ammunition will have dirtier powder, so you'll notice that a big difference is like just take some like clone XM193, run it, you'll see huge fireballs. Put some duty ammunition, significant change in flash. Yeah. But we ran just a clone XM193 kind of on that baseline to what's generally going to have a lot of flash.
Yeah.
But this whole process, like I said, we weren't trying to go into this whole scientific, down the rabbit hole, everything else like that. We explained the technology. More information, obviously, on OSS website. They can go way deep dive into this. They've explained it to us. We've been to the facility, and like I said, we're just trying to get an end user perspective, right? So to an individual who sees the marketing, interested in technology, buys a suppressor, what they would experience when they put it on the end of the rifle or a pistol, and it's just the technology is amazing. Because it takes a lot of the cons or the drawbacks of having a suppressor and having that extremely reduced blowback, works amazing.
Yeah, yeah, and I would say that if you're concerned about the flash out of the end, there's a couple things that you need to keep in mind as far as variables go. So as Chris mentioned, ammo is going to be a big variable. So what ammo are you running? Your barrel length, I think, is going to be another variable.
Big time.
And then who's your barrel manufacturer? Because every barrel is going to have a different gas port size. And that varies from manufacturer to manufacturer. And these tend to pair really, really well with TRIARC rifles because we have a smaller gas port size. And it's overall, it's reducing that amount of gas that's coming back at the end user.
Yes, and that's the whole thing, just being very well balanced with the operating system to begin with mitigating the gas to make sure we have the proper amount of gas flow. In tune, or in partner with Suppressor as the OSS, where you have significantly reduced blowback, and it balances out extremely well. And my whole thing is like, you got to experience it to believe us. I mean, obviously you can talk about technology all day and show you videos, but it's very interesting to give this suppressor give it a shot. I mean, in my opinion right now, I'm switching everything to this. Here's the thing, I'm not trying to say, throw out all suppressors, or every suppressor out there is, trash. I'm not trying to say that. What Jimmy and I have been experiencing is, in the sense that this, for what we build our rifles for, and for what a lot of people tend to run their rifles for, is that it takes a lot of the negatives of suppressor use on a rifle.
Yeah.
A lot of it. And you don't have the gas blowback in your face. You have less wear and tear on your parts. And best of all, we're running a pin gas block. We take the can on and off, and there's virtually no different in injection.
Yep.
And the rifle feels amazing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I think so. Recently, one of the things that I saw that really made me realize how much better this is is so clone rifles are very popular.
Yeah.
And, I have all the friends who have the clone rifles, and they're building their URGIs, right? But they were really struggling. They were really struggling with their Surefire cans and the ejection pattern as they were shooting suppressed versus unsuppressed, and how drastic it was. And then you can see in our video how little it changes with our guns. Now again, it does vary depending on the can that you have. If you're running the TI, if you're running the K, if you're running a shorter barrel, a longer barrel, it's going to affect those a little bit. But you're seeing little to no change, and then just how little it beats up your guns.
Exactly. And like I said, coming from our perspective as a manufacturer, and we want longevity out of the firearms, it's like I can't stress it enough. It contains a concussive blast, reduces signature, reduces sound. The flash is minimal, but you're not overdriving your action, wear and tear on your parts, excess cleaning, or getting that introduced to the lead toxins in your eyes, everything else like that. I'm telling you right now, it's just like a big shift in technology when it comes to suppressors. One big negative thing is the blowback and having to get adjustable gas box, small ports. But some companies, they're not the only company to have some type of design like this. Other companies have, but it's the finalization of how you use that technology into the final product. And this thing, never had one come loose, locks on with their reverse thread taper lock, and it's lightweight, different models. They're tough. We've shot, I mean, thousands of rounds in different demo cans, wide variety. We have law enforcement agencies have picked them up already, so they're pretty tough.
Yeah, no, they've been great.
Stop.
Yeah, they've been great. They've been great so far. And we probably do the thing we're not supposed to, which is after we shoot them, we just pour water on them to cool them down.
Yeah, guilty of that.
But I say that because we haven't had any issues doing that. I mean, we're not supposed to, but it still holds up to it. So,
Yeah, it holds up.
Yeah.
And so also, how's your review coming?
It's coming. So keep an eye out on my channel. There's a review coming. I have the TI can. I've been running it on my 10.5 and 13.9.
Yeah.
I've run it as I've been out on average shows across America. I've run it at our range days, had people demo it, just been training with it, and it's been doing great. So Jim's Goon Life, keep an eye out on my channel. A review will be coming probably in the next couple of days.
Rad 9 too, right?
Rad 9's coming. Still working on that one.
Yeah. So Rad 9 pistol can that they also may come out with this year. Yeah, but like I said, guys, this is just an end user perspective from us putting the can on the gun, and it just they work out great. It does what it needs to do, and I mean, my prediction, the way this can operates, I'm guarantee a lot of other companies are going to start doing some similar design to this, because it's just like the next step.
Yeah,
right?
and I think we're already seeing that in some of the prototypes coming out.
Yeah, so but good stuff. But we want to thank everybody for supporting the channel, supporting Jim's Goon Life, also and TRIARC as a whole. Can't thank everybody enough. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. We got more content coming up. I know it's been extremely busy, and now we're starting to get caught up. New products coming down the line, and also the good stuff. So more videos to come.
Yep.
So thanks for tuning in. Did we just get that one fucking thing?
One take. Done. Done. Be like that. So it's like when you're a professional.
Can you get quieter shoes? Thank you. How should I end this?